Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, October 1st. We are in studio. I have a special guest. I have PC Giancarlo Marrelli, who is our traffic services. Oh, I have sound coming in off of that screen. Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Sorry, I had feedback coming into my thing. I am definitely working the mic today. So I fix one issue, I break another thing, but today I've got it working. You can hear the sounds. Yes, this is my partner. He's also my roommate, my brother from another mother. If you don't know, this is Giancarlo Marrelli. He was on the show one time when me and Sean were on, and we had him in the back.
Yes.
We've upgraded him. I've put him at the same level as me. We are actually the same class. We were hired the same day. So yes, if you're thinking, did the service make a mistake that day? They made it twice.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I got us confused,
here we
that's
are.
for sure.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for having me there, Peter. Yes, I actually got upgraded. No one puts baby in the corner. I am now with the mic. I have a headset now. I can actually hear and hear your questions and concerns. So I am here live with Peter. Thanks very much yet again. Looking to have a great show with you.
Excellent. It's good to have someone. So as you can tell, I like to have company when I'm in studio. I know I did this once by myself. Good morning, Akela. It is great to see you. I appreciate you coming in. Yeah, as you can tell, I like to have company, and unfortunately, Erin has taken a week of vacation. I'm not going to say where, but she's somewhere south of Canada right now, enjoying herself, and leaving me to be by myself. So I had to bring in Giancarlo, and Giancarlo is far more familiar with our traffic services than I am, since I've been here all of 2 months. He has spent most of his career here. He was also a previous Vision Zero fella. So he came out of our Vision Zero team, which he can tell you all about. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out. I want to tell you guys where our Vision Zero, because I know I haven't been doing that. So I want to tell you guys where our Vision Zero teams are today. They are in 11 Division and 33 Division. And if you're looking for that, you can find it on our social media. So on our X account, formerly Twitter, if you go on there, there is a link, and you can click on it, and it'll tell you your own division, so you can put in your address and figure out where they are. But yeah, today on October 1st, our units are in 11 Division and 33. It's not to say they're not elsewhere as well.
Well, that's the thing, right? So it doesn't matter where they are exactly in the city. It just your driving habits should reflect that an officer would be around, right? At the end of the day, safe driving is the best kind of driving. Avoids any kind of issues or headaches you may have later on. So just making sure that you do drive safely, and that's the name of the game. And that's why we're here to answer questions. And what are you doing?
I'm trying to get onto the account. Sorry.
Squirrel. Yes. Anyways, everyone. Yeah. So I a little bit by myself. I think again, I've been started a career actually in 14 Division, and then maybe I changed over here to traffic services about 10 or so years ago. It was in the detective office doing the hit and run office. Then I went into the safety program. So I did do a bunch of media stuff today. I should really reactivate my TikTok account.
Yes,
Yes. But yeah, and then they have went Vision Zero for a couple of years, and now I'm back over here doing so as Peter said, yes, we're roomies here. We do share an office. I let him in. He had to fill out an application, and with a little as Italians call it, busta, with a little bit of an envelope with some money in it. We made it happen. So, but yeah. So good morning, everybody. Sorry we're a little late. I like to give you a hard time. So I blame him for all the mistakes. Anything that goes wrong on this podcast is because of him, but everything goes right is because of me.
Okay, it definitely was me. I had started up the show accidentally. Yeah. So we have a good morning from Michael. Good morning, Michael. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming out. Julie, good morning, and everyone out there. Yeah, we're not going to make Giancarlo a regular. We'll see how it goes. Maybe he'll take over the show, and then I can get back to doing other things.
No.
But yeah, so good morning. I like this, Akela. So Akela says, my wife says you should create an opening crawl, Star Wars style, for the intro.
Oh, no, Star
You know
Wars.
what? Okay, so just so we're clear, Giancarlo is not a Star Wars fan. So I purposely try to wear as much Star Wars, like T-shirts every day kind of thing.
Every day.
So I'm hoping through like osmosis, the area of high concentration goes into the area of low concentration. And yeah, so, but I appreciate that. If I can figure that out, the opening crawl, I would probably do that. So I appreciate that. You know what? I'm going to have to make note of that one specifically. But good morning, Matthew. Thank you so much.
And Kelly, yes, I do apologize. I do talk away from the mic. Now that you brought that to my attention, everyone can see that. I will definitely make a conscious effort to talk into the
I
microphone.
know. And Kayla, here I am. I fixed the mics so that you can clearly hear us through the mics because now I watched like 2 minutes of the other YouTube channel, the other YouTube video we made the other day with me and Aaron, and I realized the difference when you talk into the mic and when you don't talk to the mic.
Okay, see, very loud in my headset too, but I do apologize. I will make an effort as well. Thank you. Sorry, and thank you for bringing that to my attention. I appreciate that.
Someone's asking on Instagram, did you catch the guy with a writing license plate in Brampton? So we're police officers in the city of Toronto. That would be Peel region, and I'm unsure of what you're talking about exactly. I know I did see a video of folks who put stickers over their plate, and yeah, that's a pretty big fine. So I'll let Giancarlo speak to that.
No, at the end of the day, yes. If you're trying to any kind of identifying, like trying to cover the identification of your plate, it definitely results into a charge. So, if you guys even like the whole thing about the license plate cover, always a big thing for us. It's always like, oh well, I bought it from Canadian Tire. That's great, you bought it from Canadian Tire. That's great, but unfortunately, the Highway Traffic Act states that there shall not be anything covering your license plate, even though it's transparent. It shall not be used. So just making sure that those plates are clear at all times. If you do use it, obviously using at your own risk. Make sure it's clean and clear so we do get to see the license plates and there will be no issues later on. But as I said before, even though you bought it at Canadian Tire, it does say in little letters saying off-road use only. So just make sure that you do use caution and if you can remove it, remove it. Don't again. We have other people where they have these tinted covers that are like pretty much pitch black that I can't even read a license plate number. And there was a bad batch of those plates where they're peeling and everything. If you do have those peeling plates, please go to the MTO. Again, there's probably a batch that will just replace them for free, and if not, I think they're like $20 or something to replace.
Yeah, I had this discussion a few days ago on the stream here, and I was saying that I think they had a 5-year warranty to begin with, and so you could have brought them back. Yeah, but there was that bad batch error thing. I'm going to address strong and free. I'm at work and you're podcasting. Shake my head. Yeah, but you're here, and the whole idea is this is educational, and you clearly turned in. So I say this is a win for us, and thank you, strong and free, for bringing it up. We're at work and we're podcast. We're giving a podcast education. We're answering questions about traffic and policing, and you clearly tuned in, and that's awesome. That's exactly our goal. And thank you so much for coming on in. We appreciate it. So I hope you have a great day at work, and happy Tuesday. Let me get to what are your thoughts on equal traffic laws across Canada, I assume, Canadian, rather than province to province? So the Highway Traffic Act is done province by province.
Correct.
And just like as if you went to the States, it would be state by state controls their highway. So yeah, it'd be interesting.
More times than not, it is pretty much standard across the board. The only thing I've noticed that really makes a difference, or the biggest difference, is Quebec. They're allowed to use studded snow tires, and here in Ontario, we're not allowed to use those. So I know that was one of the biggest ones. I apologize. I don't know much of the laws of the Highway Traffic Act when it comes province to province, but you have to understand the criminal code is right across Canada. So the laws of drinking and driving doesn't change, dangerous driving doesn't change, all that kind of stuff. Driving high, that's all the same. So when it comes to Highway Traffic Act, again, more times than not, it's pretty much standard across the board.
Yeah, and we talked about this because I know some folks, or like people who watch us from around the world. I had someone from Punjab last week, Pakistan, come in, and a few different random people. We've also had people from like North Vancouver. We've had North Vancouver RCMP on, which I'm still asking where the South and East and West Vancouver police are, but we've had them on because folks come on to BC and say, well, my level 5 or my level 7 driver's license. And so even a graduate licensing isn't the same from province to province. So yeah, when you ask me about your level 5 or level 7, I'll be honest with you, it's foreign language to me, and I have no idea what that means. But I appreciate people who are in our conversations here who try and answer those because some of you folks know the comparable. I necessarily don't. I'll be honest with you, I don't see too many people, or at least folks who are driving from British Columbia aren't getting pulled over when I was on the road. So yeah, my history is I was previously a traffic complaints officer, probably a decade ago now. So yeah, and I used to love, one of my favorite things was doing truck blitzes. I partner with the MTO and some of our own officers, and off of Black Creek, we pull over trucks. We had like a 65% failure rate over the ones we did.
It's pretty scary. So even when it comes down to like child safety restraints and stuff, I know we did a blitz there a few years ago too, and it was a very like 75% were failures, and it was pretty scary to see that. So please, if you do have a child seat in your vehicle, YouTube it. Make sure that you're doing it properly. If you're able to move it side by side more than an inch, then something's up. You need to take a look at it. I've seen kids trapped in the seat's not even strapped to the car. So that's at times it's scary like hell. So just making sure if you do, please double check, triple check, and just make sure that there are independent people that do the installs and actually do the checks as well. Don't be scared to reach out.
It's something we're definitely talking about is car seat clinics. We're kind of in initial steps to actually partner with the kids. So Sick Kids Hospital and ourselves will run car seat clinics. We don't know right now. Sick Kids does run car seat clinics. They have an individual, and she runs them, I think, five days a week. You can look it up. There's a website for it. I'll post it up on the following show so you can see where those are, and you can sign up and get your car seat done by someone who's certified in installing car seats. Honestly, you really need to take the time. This is your most precious cargo, is your child. If you are using a child seat, so you need to make sure that you add them in. So someone's asking, and this is definitely a better question for you: can two single trailers?
Oh, jeez.
Right, Giancarlo knows where this is going.
No,
can
I
two
don't.
single trailers be towed?
So there is. I don't know what there is a length limitation how much you can tow behind a vehicle. I'm sorry, I don't know what those numbers are right now, but if we can put that on the back burner, hopefully I can get back to you guys soon. I did read something. Studded tires are able to be used in the North Ontario, way up there. So I'm sorry, I'm talking about Toronto specific when it comes to that kind of studded tires. But again, someone to correct me. I appreciate it, whoever it was. Shout out to again North Ontario because they get a lot more snow than we do down here. So if it is something you guys, if you are listening to the North, I do apologize. I think there are some, what is it, regulations, probably municipality laws that they have up there that exempt them for it. So sorry, but I'm talking Toronto specifically.
Puddle asks, you guys are doing the lies, but do you do TikTok videos again? Puddle. So here's the issue. I didn't necessarily know that I was going to be taking this on, and I don't have skill set my predecessor. And so the goal is to get there at some point. Right now is to keep the lives going, so we keep that educational portion, that live thing. But I 100% agree that we need to get back to the videos. I think the videos are what really drives our content and stuff. So the goal is to definitely get back to that. And we are making headway into that, but it's still going to take some time. The fact that I can get the studio to turn on is a pretty impressive thing, and until I don't do this by myself now, that's why I bring folks in. So yeah, it's going to happen. It's just going to be a bit. Okay. Oh, look.
What do we got?
I'm sure there are better things to do than worry about lightly tinted plate covers.
Oh, yes. Always get that. And when people say, well, you're enforcing the Highway Traffic Act, aren't there other things you could be focusing on? And guess what? We have a bunch of officers that focus on different things every day. So as we said, Vision Zero, strictly Highway Traffic Act. We have our homicide squad. We have detectives working on the other things as well. So we are just talking about what's legal and what's not legal. At the end of the day, I'm telling you what the Highway Traffic Act states, and if it's something that you guys want to follow, and as I said, that is a charge. That is at the end of the day, we don't make up the laws; we just enforce them.
Correct. And so if your issues are, hey, I want to have a tinted plate cover, call your local MPP and have that discussion with your MPP. You believe, hey, I should be entitled to having a tinted plate cover. You're not supposed to have any plate cover, period. We've had this discussion pretty much every show becomes a discussion of tinted plate covers or tint in general, and it's something we discussed. And yeah, you are not actually to have anything, even that little rim that your dealership likes to put around to promote them. And I'm going to tell you, I have no idea why folks drive around advertising the delership unless you really like your dealership. Why you drive around with one of those, I would suggest, geez,
you should pay your royalty fees for doing
correct.
That. You know what I mean? That's advertisement.
You're rolling advertisement for them constantly about that individual dealership. Oh, okay. So the TikTok comments aren't showing up. So my moderator has just advised me the TikTok comments are no longer showing up. I don't know how that rectify that issue, but we'll do our best to get to them anyways. What you won't happen to see is I won't be able to bring them up on screen, but we'll try to get them. Someone's asking, and I'm not quite sure what this is. I tried to look it up while we were here. What is it? Can I import a carry car to Ontario? Do you know what a carry car is?
A what?
A carry car. I don't even know what a carry
Carry
car
car.
is.
Hmm.
So when I look up a carry car, I get this like white pickup looking thing, like that. I don't know. Is that?
Oh,
And they spell carry it not the same way he is. Like it's a Suzuki thing.
okay.
So I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. Maybe we need more information about this particular thing.
So that comes down to Transport Canada. So as much as you ask a cop, well, what can I do? This can I do this? Can I do that? At the end of the day, we have to understand we do not write these laws and the regulations and things like that. You have to understand that we just enforce it. They give us a whole list of things that we can enforce, and we do that. When it comes to importing, cars from a different country, sure, anything is possible as long as it's done correctly. Transport Canada would be your probably your first stop. Anything to do with the border control, those are the people that answer those questions for you. Unfortunately, I have never imported a vehicle into Canada. I'm not sure if you have, but there is a list of things that you need to make sure that the vehicle has and before importing into Canada.
I remember years ago that was the thing where people were importing because cars were cheaper in the U.S. to import them, blah blah. And then there's a whole bunch of modifications you need to do, like the dash to have it right kilometers larger and miles on the inside. Those kind of things. You couldn't have the reverse. Like, I think daytime running lights were another thing.
My I purchased a Mustang was actually from Virginia, and it was the one thing he needed to add for sure was the daytime running lights. It's not required down south. However, it is over here. So
Zodiac Pine on TikTok is asking, "Are you allowed to tint your front windshield at all?"
I don't know what this. I don't know. I don't know what the fascination is now. I've seen so many, and so no. Please, please, please do not tint your windshield. And it's amazing because I'll tell you right now, when I got slightly tinted on the side. Actually, my wife back then was my girlfriend, not my wife, but she had a again legal tint, everything else. And when I drive the thing at night, it was so difficult to see. As soon as the night went down, you throw a bit of rain in there, it is like it's horrible seeing through that thing. That was the side, not even the windshield. People were doing their windshield. I never understood this, and people are like, "Oh, because I have a condition." And unfortunately, that things just because you have a condition doesn't mean you're able to modify that. And people need to remember that driving is a privilege, not a right. So there's things that you need to follow. Yes, so there are, if you have a condition, you need to do other things besides because it's so dangerous at night. I don't even know why people even want to do that. It looks cool, but you know what? At the same time, is because you look cool doesn't mean someone's life has to be at stake because of them.
So I think Giancarlo gave us a 500-word paragraph on no, you cannot tint.
So simple answer, no. Okay, do not do that, please.
Ria on TikTok is saying highway traffic law does not exist in Alberta. It is the Traffic Safety Act. It's essentially the same thing. I may go by different names, but it's essentially the same rules for the road kind of thing, and it's essentially governing the same idea. So, yeah, there's going to be different wording, but yes. But thank you, Ria, for bringing that in. Yep. Someone says only Northern Ontario can have studded tires.
Thank you very much.
Does a loud exhaust ticket affect insurance?
Call your insurance broker. How's that?
Yeah, that would probably be the best place to get to it. Would be to speak to your insurance and be careful of, because I've given out it's the unnecessary noise.
Yeah.
So it doesn't carry points.
No, it doesn't. But I've heard that any movement violation can and will affect your insurance. But again, as I said, Peter and I are not hired by the insurance brokers of Canada, but maybe we should be.
We're not part of the Canadian Association of Insurance automobiles, but maybe, hey, maybe one day when we retire, if they're willing to pay the bills, that's always an option.
Is that a conflict of interest if you were hired?
I don't know. That's a good question. You want to talk about this? Maybe off air?
Yeah, off air.
Maybe off air, just in case someone's watching. No, I'm kidding. But I'm going to tell you, if you're going to get a ticket for drive, does a loud exhaust ticket affect insurance. Be careful what that road that may take you down with your insurance, because I'm going to say your insurance may be interested to see what else you've modified on your vehicle.
Correct.
Now, because they're going to think, hold on, this isn't a stock vehicle. So I bought my Honda Civic, but what else have you done to it? And once you start getting tickets like that, I can imagine your insurance would be very interested to see, hey, what else have you done to your vehicle?
And so there's a clause in there somewhere. And if you modified your vehicle in any way, they could cancel your insurance. And guess what? So usually that comes out when it's the time you actually need it. So you're involved in a collision. All of a sudden, hey, I need to get coverage, and they're like, oh, wait a second, Mr. Peter, you decided to lower your vehicle exhaust, put a new intake and a supercharger, and all of a sudden, hey, no, thank you. So, but again, as I said, guys, this kind of stuff when it comes to insurance stuff, as I said before, we don't make the rules, we don't make the regulations, we enforce it. And what happens after the fact, if you're getting a ticket, we can tell you what happens in court, but that's about it.
There you go. Can I have and someone else is asking, can I have an aftermarket exhaust on my car? We just kind of got caught up into everything else. I'm gonna tell you, yeah, you can, but be careful of where that takes you, right? And so, yeah, I'll be honest with you. I remember being younger and thinking, oh my God, I never had loud exhaust, but being in somebody's car, loud exhaust was the coolest thing. Now at my age, I'm like, God, like, really?
Yes.
Really, and especially at night, I'm like, you got nothing else to do? Like, this is what gets you up in the morning. Like, look at how loud my car is. I'm like,
They're very, very loud. So, and some do come, I shouldn't say stock, but yeah, there are cars with the abject exhaust and stuff. And then I pulled over a Trailhawk, and that thing was ridiculously loud. I couldn't believe. I'm assuming he did some other modification to this thing, because this thing was. I used to the Hyundai. I did I was like roadside there, right by the fence, and these little NASCAR cars that were going through, and these are just like full on race cars. It was just as loud as that. Like, we're talking about straight pipe right from the engine, straight through. It's incredible. Tom, what's going on, buddy? Tom and I.
Oh,
yes, we go way back. We used to work together.
Tom came onto our TikTok and is apparently a childhood friend of Giancarlo. And so now we're going to hear about how they grew up together and been longtime friends.
Oh, man. Long time ago.
Someone's asking, do you think volunteer firefighters should be able to use sirens on their personal vehicle?
Ooh.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, it's
because even if you were security, you technically can't open up your headlights. So security guard, when you see that they have the overhead lights, they can only use that on private property. They could not.
Amber lights.
Yeah, so they can't light up their light bar or whatever. They can't use it to get, say, to a call faster. Oh, there it is. It came up.
Did it work?
I'm not sure how that came up, but hey, I'll take it. So yeah, it came up. So yeah, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, no, you can't.
She clicked it. Thank you so much.
Sorry, getting sidetracked over quite a bit. Yeah, well, I think.
Thanks, moderator.
It's because it's not an emergency vehicle. I'm going to say no. Again, and why can't anyone get I'm an off-duty doctor, but can I get licensed?
I used to be private security, and if we had a site that was being broken into, it doesn't even put lights there.
Correct.
So yeah,
and because what benefit? Yes, the cars that are in front of the volunteer firefighter may realize and may pull over, but then again, at the same time, is they can't go through intersections because there are laws when, again, emergency vehicles, and there are things that we need to make sure our vehicles are doing, such as our lights got to be 360. It has to be all around, and our cars have to be fully marked. If we're, and there's so many, sorry, not the fully marked, but just the 360 lights around the vehicle, fully marked. Anyways, I'm going way off topic here, but when I go back to emergency vehicles, it's 360. These volunteer, the volunteer firefighters are strictly just only green light.
Someone is asking, where can I find part-time field placements? Second-year justice study student in university. So Toronto Police, we don't have field. Like, it's not like you can go out to a division and necessarily work on the road or anything.
No, but they actually do ride-alongs.
Yeah, ride-alongs a one-time. You're going to get a one-time deal. If you can find a station, so what you'd have to do is go to the front desk, ask. It's division by division. It is platoon by platoon, whether or not because you need to understand that once you go on to, say, for a ride-along, you're essentially taking away from that staffing. So that sergeant, and typically a road sergeant,
Mhm.
is now their focus is on you.
Yeah.
And so they have to be careful where they take you and all of this and that. So
Mhm.
staffing is always an issue right now, especially with Toronto Police Service. So we have to be careful of that. So it may not always happen, but yeah, ride along is a one-time thing. I don't know where you'd find a part-time placement other than like if you can get hired as a co-op student into like our people and culture, which is essentially human resources. And I see them and they work for a number of months and all that kind of stuff. It depends on what you're looking into within the service itself. If you're looking into front lines, that's not a thing. But yeah,
Yeah, the ride-along's pretty cool. Have you done one before you became a cop?
yep, I did
Yeah.
one in 52.
Yeah.
Hoping that sergeant's not watching. Essentially,
Oh, no.
we just sat in the entertainment district.
Oh, man.
That's all we did.
He's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I got hired by Toronto Police right now. Oh my gosh."
No, that guy gave me some like tips. He's like, you lose weight, you got to do this and that.
Oh,
And
no.
I was like, oh, okay.
No filter. I like
Yeah,
that.
no,
Yeah, that's good.
So that was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Jeez.
yeah, if only he could see me now, then he'd be telling me no. So I got on. I can't remember. Honestly, I couldn't tell you what his name was, but yeah, we essentially sat in the entertainment district. It was interesting because I had a lot of women come up to me thinking I was undercover because I wore my vest underneath my sweater.
Yeah.
Because you have to on a ride
Oh.
along, you have to wear
Wear a vest, yeah.
for your protection and stuff. And so I had one there, and we just parked the car. He took me to a couple like minor, I guess, disputes over parking or whatever. Like we went to back up a parking enforcement officer. But yeah, anyways, that's a whole conversation for another time. Someone asked about. I've seen people drive around with a sun strip on the bottom of their windshield. So I thought at one point that was acceptable, but it's as of a certain year, you can no longer have those sun strips. So if your vehicle is made, because vehicles were at one time, it was kind of like at the factory.
So, not the bottom windshield, the top one. There was that factory strip on the top of it, which helped with the sun. You are correct. There's a certain year, I think it was 2016 or something like that. It ended. If you ever look at your windshield and you see a little black, almost like a little black cross in the corner with like the CS or something like that, that was usually the legal limit how far down they can actually go. So, um, when it comes to that again, Transport Canada, that comes down to the whole Transport Canada when they discontinued that kind of thing. It's just like a daytime running light. That was it was something that regulation that came up, and they Transport Canada's like, as of this date, all cars must have daytime running lights.
Fair enough. What would happen if you got caught driving alone as a G1 driver's license?
Oh, here we go.
I'm so glad we got Giancarlo in because I love the emotional thing here. It's not like because I've been told I have a terrible poker face at times when I'm dealing with nonsense. So
That's the thing now. So it's funny because that is part like if you're training and if you're studying, you have to know that the rules and regulations when it comes to getting your license. You get tested on this kind of thing. So at the end of the day, I know we were talking about this. Put a little ticker on the bottom saying, okay, questions about tint, questions about your G1, G2, and all that kind of thing. So, but I see here we have a special guest over here that wants to get on. No,
No.
okay. All right. Someone poked their head in. I'm looking at them, and it's very distracting. Yes. Okay. Oh, here we go. So we got Sergeant Campbell here. Yes, our special guest. You want to say hello?
Good morning, everyone. It's been a while since I've been on the show. You guys are doing a great job. I was listening to in the background there. So
excellent
good stuff. Tint strip across 3 inches at the very top of the windshield, not in the area swept by the windshield wipers, only down to the AS1 line, which is a little mark that is on your windshield. That's actually the AS1 line is the optically correct, if I can say that. Portion of the windshield where you'll be able to see through it clearly. No area below that is covered, and that's only for vehicles manufactured before 2016.
there you go. So you were right on the 2016
17 and
John
newer,
Carlo
there's
Hyman.
absolutely nothing allowed on the front windshield at all.
Okay, thank you
There
so
you
much,
go.
Sarge, for coming in. Kayla says hello, Sarge. So we also have another question. Hi, I have a question, and this
Oh,
is
I have a
Randy. Is it legal to use Bluetooth for your phone? Is it legal?
No. So
Sorry.
so it is legal.
Is it legal to use
legal.
a Bluetooth for your phone?
Yes. You can. 100%.
Ignore the first no. We'll edit that out afterwards once I figure out how to edit everything. Yeah.
It's every time I'm thinking illegal. So
Yeah.
yes, it is legal to use your phone as when it's on Bluetooth. You're allowed to have it mounted on your dash. This is where people are like, well, I can touch it when it's mounted. So you're allowed to touch it once. So meaning that I want to end the call, I want to start a call, I want to redirect, not a problem.
Okay.
Problem we run into is then people start going, okay, well, I'm gonna scroll through here. Okay, here's my number. Oh, the address. I'm gonna put the address in. And so it doesn't matter. And please, 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 it does not matter because I'm telling you right now, all my I'm going to court now for all the enforcement I did on Vision Zero. People are like, well, I was at a red light. I was stopped. I was at a red light. I was stopped. It does not matter. As long as you're in a live lane of traffic, you can and will be charged with using a cell phone device while driving. As long as that, if you're in any kind of live lane of traffic, please, if you need to use your cell phone, please, please, please pull over, get off the roadway, make it safe for everybody. And you'll be like, oh my, it's not a red light. What's different? It's amazing to see how many people lose track of where they are and where people would actually have their head down on their phone, and all of a sudden the car beside just inches up. Just say they inch up because they're about to make the right hand turn. And the person on their phone thinks, "Oh, you know what? Must be a green light," without even looking up because the guy beside me started driving off and we're right in the intersection. Unfortunately, there was a fatality where someone didn't realize that an old lady fell in front of their vehicle, and you can only imagine what happened next. So that's at a red light. You're not allowed to use it. Get off the roadway, please. If you need to make that text or whatever that thing is, there's time for that. So pick it up.
Yeah. Uh, uh, I always say, like, yeah, when people tell me the red light, oh, I'm stuck. Think about how many times you've been behind a car,
Oh,
the advance goes on or a green light goes and that
mhm,
car is paused. Whether it's and it's like 4 or 5 seconds. They're
mhm,
sitting there. It's because they're on their cell phone. They're distracted.
100%.
And so, yeah. And then so think about how angry you get. I get it all the time. When I'm sitting behind a car and the advance is going, I'm like, why are you going?
Yeah.
Why don't we go? Because you're on your cell phone. That's right. Because
Mhm.
we were stuck at a red light. Yeah, and that's why you're gonna get the charge, and that's why upon conviction, it's now 3-day suspension.
3 days suspension, 3
So,
points,
yeah, just don't touch your
600.
cell phone. Put
No.
it away, leave it on your dash if you're using it for, like, mapping, just, as a like, Waze or whatever you're using. I personally use Waze only because I love the voiceovers. I currently have
Oh,
Jack Black. If you're listening, Jack Black, I love your voice. You're awesome. Your anecdotes, your little jokes, little quips, it's awesome. It's
oh, I thought I
awesome.
had, like, Darth Vader or something on your
No,
waist,
they
but
don't
no,
actually currently have
they
one.
don't?
No, I used to have Halo Master Chief, if you know it's a video game. The Minions one was, I'll be honest with you, was that was terrible.
Oh, that's
Uh, yeah, they have like Christina Aguilera is one of them right now. We used on the weekend the 90s pop. It was terrible. It was not.
terrible.
My wife is like, "What are we listening to?" I'm like, "I don't know." It's a pop star apparently,
Oh,
and
Jesus.
yeah. So yeah,
That's amazing.
M is saying that I have put you closer to the camera. Um, so I apparently, sorry. Oh, you let Giancarlo up closer to the camera, laughing out loud. No,
Yes.
so I think the issue is what I'm trying to do is equal the plane. So no different than when I had my BFF in studio, Aaron, on. The goal is I don't want it to seem like I don't want to be like dead center in this giant thing in the middle and be like, yeah. So we kind of sit and so we're equal to this, and that's what I'm trying to accomplish. But if you think John Carlos is closer, I don't want to talk about his very large head. It also has to deal with his ego. Yeah. So
Oh,
there we go.
damn.
Oh, okay. We're
Wow.
gonna edit that one. That's gonna be one of my best ones after when I figure out editing.
Jesus.
But yeah. So, question. You know what? And to the folks who actually see that the rules keep coming up about putting the Q in front, because they're constantly, you'll see, please start your conversation with a Q so you can easily identify it as a question rather than a general chat conversation. I appreciate that that keeps coming up. I appreciate the individuals who read that and see that. Came from Alberta, but I'm a student here in Toronto. Need to change license to Ontario, correct?
So, yes, depending how long, yes, if you are gonna be here, for a period of time, I think of 90 days,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's you, Reagan.
I do apologize. I'm sorry, my office phone is sent to myself. Yes, so, as long as you're here permanently for the time being, you'll have to switch it over to an Ontario driver's license. I don't know exactly the time
Time period?
limit. Yeah, sorry, you have to forgive me. Yeah, you gotta forgive me. I need to check it out. If you're a student here, because again, school year is what, 6 months, 9 months. So, as long as you have an address here and everything else, you should be changing your license over to an Ontario license. And at the end of the day, too, it's for your safety. So I know a lot of people like, well, why do I got to change my license? The address.
Any
on my
resident with a
license.
driver's license from another province or country must apply for Ontario driver's license within 60 days.
Oh, 60.
60.
Okay. 60. Perfect. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
No
Thanks,
problem.
Peter.
No problem. I learned from
usual.
Sean. If you don't know what's going on, let's just quickly Google it up. Make sure we're getting it from a reliable source and move on.
Yes, 100%. So that's what I think the whole thing with to take the attention away from Peter while he does the investigation while I try to fill the dead air. So, going back to the whole thing of changing your address, and it's so important. That's why they only give you 6 days to change your address. At the end of the day, we've had instances where we had people go to the hospital, because of a collision or because of something, and we can't find their next of kin or someone that we can contact in case of an emergency. So, yes, their cell phones are great, but at the same time, if they're locked, we can't get into it. Guess what? It's useless to us. So, make sure you have your license up to date. I can't remember countless times where we've gone to addresses like, "Hey, little Mark here is in the hospital, and this is his address." And like, "Yeah, well, we've been here 15 years." I'm like, "Oh, okay, so let's go back to the drawing board and see if we can find the next person to notify." Yep.
I'm going to go with this one. What happens to an officer when someone submits a complaint? So it depends to what the complaint is. Depends to the process in which you go through. So I think it's called LECA now. It's what used to be the OIPD. Yeah.
Okay.
So there is kind of a civilian complaint process. You can bring it up at an individual division. They may address it at that level. You can go provincially, which is the LECA now, which used to be the Ontario Independent Police Review Director. And so there's various things, and an investigation is conducted. Depending to who's doing it, could be our own internal systems or professional standards may look into it, and risk and liability kind of thing.
Yeah, the more serious the offense or the incident, there's different levels of investigation. So very broad. Thank God I've never been part of a complaint myself, which is thankfully I'm not. And maybe Peter's been a few times, but he's want to get into that.
Well, I will tell you, if you're watching the show, someone did complain about me when I was a moderator because I muted them. So I'm going to tell you, for the folks who come in and say absolutely garbage into the chat, we have a moderator. She does a fantastic job. I was doing it as well at one point, and someone decided to was getting seriously repetitive with the same question, which was complete nonsense. And so I muted them.
Right.
I didn't engage them. I didn't say anything. I decided to make a complaint, which went nowhere, like it should. If you can't handle it, don't come in and say nonsense into the chat. I've seen some of the comments that have come up, and I'm like, I think it speaks volumes to who you are, that you figure you can come in here and say something. I don't know who you expect to engage out of this, since it's an educational traffic show and about policing in general. But hey, feel free to. You can say what you want, but realize you're probably going to get muted, and you might even get kicked out. That means you can't come back. But hey, we each make our own decisions. Someone's asking, can I wear headphones while driving? I love Giancarlo's like reactions to everything.
I don't know if there's an actual charge for that.
No.
Now, at the end of the day, would you really want to? And I love the whole thing of, well, I want my music. No problem. You can listen to music.
But my AirPods don't come out of my ears. Like, you see them everywhere now. People just keep their AirPods permanently affixed to their ear.
Sure. If that's really important to you, that's perfectly fine. Just make sure that
you need to be able to hear if emergency vehicles coming.
And that's at the end of the day. So you need to make sure you need to be situational awareness to make sure that you can hear police vehicles, ambulances, fires, just to make sure to get out of that way of that person. Obviously traffic, cross traffic, people honking because if you're going the wrong way, or there's communication that's done while you're driving, right? Usually honking to the horn, gesture with hands, get into the specifics, but at the same time is that just put yourself in the other, put yourself in our shoes. We're trying to get by traffic because I'll be the paramedic to get to your mom's house because something's going on seriously wrong with your parents, something like that, and they need medical attention right away. And because someone decided to put their headphones in, noise canceling, everything else, and then can't hear anything around them, and they're going 60 kilometers an hour, 50 kilometers an hour, 40 kilometers an hour, and they're trying to get around traffic, and they can't because you have your headphones in. Just be very cautious and aware of what's happening around you. Yeah, wear them. Just make sure you can hear.
AJ, our analyst, is trying to call me right now. I guess AJ, you really need to watch yourself to understand that you're not and I can't pick up that phone. Someone, Jaden, I don't know, Jaden, are you asking if you're sorry, you said, do you not have anything better to do? I don't know if that's directed to me, but Jaden, I don't know, like, do you not have anything better to do? Like, if it's a comment towards me, I'm going to tell you, like, you're watching our show.
Correct.
So do you not have anything better? You don't have to be here. I kind of have to be here. I'm not going to be here. That's why the show kind's on.
He didn't put the Q in front of the question. So
maybe we don't get a lot of Qs. But someone says hi from the Yukon Bros. Not sure who the Yukon Bros are, but hey, hi to the Yukon Bros. I do like that name. I got to be honest with you. That's awesome. Yeah. Can I listen to podcasts on YouTube while driving?
So, yes, you can, as long as the screen is not visible to the driver. So I've had people saying, and again, back in my Vision Zero days, I had a lady watch a newscast or news broadcast going on, and she was trying to tell me it was right on her dash, and I'm driving right beside her, and I can see the newscast person just talking away and this, that, and see a little ticker on the bottom. So I pull her over, and I'm like, the reason why I'm pulling you over is because you have your screen. And she goes, oh, no, I was just listening to it. I have no problems with listening to anything whatever you want to listen to, go right ahead. As long as that screen is put down on the passenger seat, as long as you can't see that video, I'm fine with. And, because what happens is, and people, what I've noticed a lot too was FaceTiming while they're driving. And so, obviously FaceTime through Apple phone or WhatsApp and stuff like that. Because I know we're not Apple users, we're Android users. So, but we have a tendency that when you're talking to someone to actually look at them, and there's no difference when you're looking at a screen and someone's talking. People have a tendency of looking down, looking at the screen. So, if you have that conversation, please don't do it during FaceTime or video chat. Please put that down. The same conversation is still, the words are still the same. If you're looking at someone on the screen or not looking at them, the words still can be communicated the same way.
Yeah, I've wondered that too. I just see folks at times, you live stream while you're having a conversation, like, and you're just walking down the street. So you just got to see that person's face. I'm like, I don't know, maybe if they're in a foreign country and you just haven't seen them for a long time, I just don't know. Like, I'm like, a phone call is a phone call to me, and I'd rather put my earbuds in and just continue talking as opposed to holding my phone the entire time. I teach their own. You do you when you're walking down the street. Just realize, depending on how loud your headphones are or whatever, your earbuds, you still need to be able to hear things, traffic coming, cyclists and this and that, because the reality is you have children and stuff riding on their bicycles on the sidewalk. I know I teach kids all the time, and you're going to see. So I'm going to be honest with you. Most of October, I'm going to be really busy. I'm running about 10 to 12 bike rodeos right now in October, so that means I will be not in studio. I may try to do a live stream from there, but it's going to be very brief, just to show you what a bike rodeo is like, because that's my big passion, and that's kind of why I keep traffic services, the run programs and stuff. So yeah, kids are riding on sidewalks. They need to ring that bell. It's something they're taught to do, and honestly, I give them bells, and it's to attract attention, to make them aware. And so if you can't hear them and they bump into each other, yeah, they did their part. Did you do yours? Is the way I would look at it. But hey, we have a question from JT, new recruit here, going through post. I'm choosing TSV. Can you give me more insight as a day-to-day versus PRU? So I think even when you come to traffic services, thanks, moderator, for putting that up. I appreciate you. So I think even,
thank you.
So this is my first time. I've been a police officer for over 18 years. This is my first time at traffic services. I did 15 years of PRU, 15 years of 12 division, not all of it PRU. I went to other units. But I believe even if you get a traffic services, do some time at a division so that you learn primary response, PRU.
Yeah, you have to get that exposure to everything, and that's what I would suggest to anyone that's looking to come on the job or anything. Just, you can't really go right into a specific unit right away. You need to see how the other side of the service works. So, being in traffic and being in, again, I started 14 division, you started in 12. You see what you like, and that's the best part of being an officer, is that there's so many avenues you can go within the job. So you can say, okay, what I want to do the regular, emergency response. No problem. Great. I want to focus on any kind of driving behaviors and, enforcing the traffic laws. And you go to traffic service. I want to go into financial crimes. I want to go into, there's so much out there that if you do get bored, then that's the first indication that you need to move. And second of all, that it's endless when with such a big service like us, like that, usually 5 years is probably a good number where you're like, you know what, I need to change, and then this is where, this is where I need, I want to try something new. I remember when I first came on the job too, they're like, you know what, it's going to take you 5 years to get used to the job, and I'm like, nah, that's BS, that's all BS. But then all of a sudden, it was pretty 5 years to the day where it just clicked, and I'm like, I get this. I don't need anyone's help to do anything on this job. If it's anywhere from an arrest to a report to seizing like evidence, stuff like that. It's amazing to see. Like it's true. It's the 5 year mark, especially here in Toronto. I know where people in other divisions, sorry, other services, what they do is that they're like, wow, it's like been 10, 15 years, and the first time I've gotten arrested with evidence. It's like, oh man, like, you're in trouble. Come to Toronto, you'll get everything under the sun, and quick too.
Yeah, someone was asking, Say was asking, do you guys still take notes? We take notes on everything. Notes are our livelihood. What you don't understand is, regardless of whether or not it's a radio call to a ticket, there are notes for everything. And so, for instance, if you are a primary response, so you're a 911 responder, every call essentially is a report, and you have to photocopy or scan, not photocopy anymore.
Yeah.
We still do little memo books. We open up a memo book and we write it down. And eventually it's supposed to change that we'll go to a digitized noting system, which we have for the most part on provincial offense tickets. So the offense, I give you like a ticket on the side of the road. Those go into a digital thing. So I just type it out. I will be on it. Like for the most part, I have templates because I used to go to the same stop signs. So I would have a template. I could tell you exactly. I would go out and check, make sure nothing's changed, but I could tell you exactly how far back that painted line was, where the stop sign is in towards that stop sign, to that light, to that painted lane. Because what people ask, and I've had this question before, is do I stop at the stop sign or do I stop at the white painted line? Stop at the white painted line, not the stop sign.
Correct. Now, if there's no stop line, where do you stop?
You stop at the curb, correct?
Stop at the stop sign. And then if the stop, then it's always the curb. And then so it's usually the white line is the white line, especially here in Toronto. Pretty much, I'm going to say 99.9% of them. I haven't seen one without one. I don't think
most of them now do. Yeah,
have a white line.
You got
to stop, and stop meaning that your tires do not rotate. And where people think when they're slowing down, they're almost stopped. That's not stopped. All right. So, just
so as an officer, most officers will always say the wheels never stop being in motion, right?
Yes.
So if your wheels don't stop being in motion, so you're slowing down and continuing on. It's not a full, complete stop.
Correct.
No one's telling you got to count to 3 or 5 or 10 seconds, which I always love that. Yes, people think, don't worry about everything. Okay. People think, I understand I didn't do a 3-second stop. Or it's not that. Your vehicle just literally has to stop.
Just
stop. That's all it's there.
That's all.
Stop.
Yep.
Right. And the best way I could always explain it is when you're talking to your kids, or for instance, you're being attacked and you said stop, and you tell your kids stop, and they don't stop. You slow down or continue on. Yeah, you see the frustration in that? That's the frustration of an officer trying to enforce the law at the same time saying, it says one thing, stop, and yet you found that too difficult to do.
Oh my God, I love that analogy. It's true. Everyone here has kids. It's like, you see your kid running and they're running towards the road and you say, stop. They go from a run to a walk. And they say, no, stop. And then they go to a crawl.
Yeah.
No, stop. So
very simple.
Going back to that question, I'm not sure if they're saying that take notes now. I know there's a service, I think it's Halton, that they went to digitize.
There's a couple of services around us in the GTA that have gone to digital notes.
Yeah, so it's digital notes where there's no more handwritten notes, but there's an audio. So we do have some of the equipment does translate. They're just not there yet. They're almost there, and I don't know if it's going to be soon or later. Everything is soon, but it might take 10 years, right?
Yeah. Someone's asking, can you dual screen your phone while using GPS and YouTube open while driving?
Oh, yeah. Please try it and see what happens. And some of you are going to be just so we're clear.
He's not challenging you. Giancarlo is not challenging you to this. He is saying, no. GPS is GPS, correct, and it is guidance to where your destination is. It is entertainment and not to be used. And entertainment device gets you a ticket, gets you a frustrated Giancarlo, and potentially also gets you a very large fine of like $615, I believe.
3 points,
3 points,
suspension.
And
so hold on a second.
Upon conviction, 3 days suspension, yes.
And it escalates. So
it escalates.
Yes, correct.
So that's the first time, and it's only going to get worse. What was it? A ticket at the beginning, which was like $110 and a cut of blah, blah. It's slowly been escalating because folks don't seem to be getting the messages.
$155 when it first started.
Yeah.
No points. Yeah.
So yeah, this is where we're at now, and it continues. So yes, it continues to escalate. But yeah, so back to notes. Yeah, we scan our notes in all the time.
Yeah.
And for instance, if you get a ticket, you can always ask for disclosure, and you'll see what my notes were. And so yeah, and you got to realize now, beyond our notes, the in-car camera records, and I have a body-worn camera, which records as well. So there's a ton, because I always enjoy. I'm still. I haven't issued a ticket in over 3 years. I was at headquarters for 3 years, doing a different position before I came here, and I'm still fighting tickets somehow. I have no idea, but I'm still fighting tickets. But it amazes me when I get into a room with somebody, because most of it is like Zoom court, and so we do it virtually. I sit there and I look at a camera and I wait to be called. And people are like, oh, I want to take you to trial. I'm like, okay, great. Just so you know, there's video, and I get. Hold on, there's video? Yeah. There's video of everything. It would have been in my notes. There's a checkbox. There's a box that you can see that says video. There's a box on your ticket that says video. And yeah, I'm going to take that video. And you can explain to the courts at what point you stopped. Because now I used to love it before. So look, we've been on a little bit longer, so that we didn't have in-car cameras originally, and everyone feared it when we first came in. Oh, the cameras are going to record everything. Now I would tell you, I would never go out with a cruiser that does not have a car. They all do now anyways, except for the spares. That's right, without a camera, yes.
Without a car. We'll take a car without a car.
The only ones that don't have it in general would be our spare cars. So a spare car is, for instance, if a cruiser needs to be oil change or serviced, we drop it off and our mechanics give us another car so that we can continue on the road. So I have a computer. I can go with my day-to-day, but certainly the extras, like the camera and stuff, aren't there because we reuse equipment. So that equipment goes into a car that is constantly being used, not one that may sit there for days in a parking lot waiting for someone to come in. But I'm also aware of time. We are coming up to the 11 o'clock hour, and I'm going to put up because we are all hiring. Toronto Police Services is a very large organization. We are, currently hiring in several positions. I can't remember the last time I've seen so many things come up on what we call routine orders. Things that come up to remove different things that are out there, and there are so many jobs. So put that video up as me and Giancarlo sign off. This will not be the last time you see Giancarlo. No, it's definitely not going to be the last time you see me for at least a while. So
can I just call something out right now?
Oh, go ahead.
A world 10 times. You guys ain't got nothing else important to do than in the streets and be on live. And you know what? Thanks for joining us. I appreciate that.
World, I appreciate it. If you want to be part of our fan club,
100%.
Yeah.
We take donations. Contributions or whatever.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on. It's another view that we get onto the show. So thank you so much. But yeah, I'm going to leave it off with the video, and I'm going to tell you, as someone who donates blood, if you are eligible to donate blood. Giancarlo did it for the first time the other day. I convinced my brother from another mother, my roommate here, to come out and donate blood. If you are eligible to donate blood, please go out and donate blood. Your potential donation helps a minimum of 3 lives. You can make an impact. This goes beyond policing. This is us as a human being, one to one. Go out there and donate blood if you can. Let me get into this presentation so I can put up the video, but thank you so much for watching. Cancel.
Oh, no.
No, I don't. Where did that go? Okay. You know what? Maybe I won't be showing that video today. Share screen. No. Okay. I had it up the other day. There we go. Nope. That's not it.
No.
You know what? The show was going so well.
So smoothly. I'm going to tell you guys that Peter did so much work.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, folks. Thank you so much. I'm going to place this up. I'm going to take us off the screen. All the best.
Your future career starts with a vision. A vision of opportunities ahead, where you can see a path to a noble career, serving the city of Toronto. Where do you see yourself? Toronto Police Service. Apply today.